So what's up, you guys? I'm back at it for a little bit in the heat of the night. And the lesson for tonight is, although I have touched on it before, this layer right here where the rocks are, all those dark rocks in there, and that marsh crab, that layer right there where those big rocks are, that's where the teeth are falling out of, at least here, right? Yeah, I just swallowed a bug. Oh gosh. It's because I actually found a big tooth smashed right in there, just stuck in there. It was just a fragment, but it was a fragment of a big tooth. Gosh, I was breathing in to talk. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, I just noticed that. That's a whale vertebrae. That is a whale vertebrae right there. Holy crap. I was going to show you another one. I'm still going to show you. Oh, there's a tooth. There's a tooth right there too. Look. Ha! Let's get this tooth. Stupid bugs. Ah. Can you see it? It's broken way bad, but now I'm all muddy. All right, I'm going to have to figure something to do with my flashlight. Hold on a second. Get this flashlight out of here. Okay, so it can burn a hole in my pocket. I'm gonna clean this tooth up and I'm gonna come back for this vertebrae. Holy crap, it's huge. And I got another one too over there, and that was gonna be part of the lesson, but okay, so anyway, right now it's low-ish tide. It's actually low tide starting to come back in. It's low tide starting to come back in. Right, so what happens is, as the tide's going up and down, coming in and out, Angus tightens. It was a nice one. Unfortunately, it's broken, still has the serrations. So as the tide comes in and out, and the tide goes all the way up into there, sometimes even above it, I'm sure, up here, you know, on a super high king tide, a flood tide, whatever they call it, as it comes up here, it laps up against this, and it causes that stuff to erode out of the bank, including the teeth. And then the teeth, as the water comes in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, eventually the teeth, you know, all settle down and come down here and get buried back up again. So the only reason we're finding them now, and you can see my breath, and I got steam coming off my hand. It's May 14th. It's the middle of May. You can see my breath really well. It's chilly. So as the tide, you know, constantly comes in and out, erodes it out of that bank, it falls down into here, and it eventually works its way down and gets covered up by all this mud. I mean, this mud is nasty, and it's just getting thicker and thicker and thicker. So it eventually will get covered back up again. Now these teeth and this vertebrae, you know, basically all of the fossils in here, that's a whale vertebrae, a big one. That's a big whale vertebrae right there. It's heavy. Basically all of the teeth, all the fossils in here have been in here for 15 to 20 to 30 million years, depending on what elevation you're at in the region. I think the oldest stuff around here is about 60 million years. So as it gets uncovered, unseated, and moves to a different location, moves from there down into the river maybe eventually, and gets covered up by silt again, as the water rises, and no, I'm not going to get all sky is falling global warming on you, but this stuff right here is evidence that water goes up and down dramatically over years and years and years and millennias, you know. And at one point where I'm standing, you know, even up there obviously, was under several hundred feet of water. And now I'm finding 30 million year old fossils, you know, well above sea level. So sea level at one point here was 100, 200, 300, 400 feet higher than it is right now. And there was megalodons and whales swimming above my head where I'm standing right now. And now the water is, you know, down where it is, and we're finding these fossils at, you know, 30, 50, 60, 80, 100 feet above sea level. We're finding these fossils. And they're falling out, and they'll get covered back up again by silt, and they'll get covered back up again by hundreds of feet of water eventually, you know, in the next several thousand, several million years, whatever. No matter what we do about it, trust me, it's gonna happen. So look at the size. I found this little vertebrae earlier. I say little because it's still pretty big. I found that vertebrae earlier and I was excited about it, but look at that. Look at the size difference. Holy crap. This might have been a dolphin and that was a whale, or this was just a smaller whale and it's a bigger whale. But this is a clam casting. And it's perfect. It's a perfect clam casting. I find that so fascinating. I think it's so cool. It looks exactly like a clam. But it's what happens when mud and stuff gets trapped inside of a dead clam shell and then fossilizes. This is rock. This is rock. That's rock. These are all fossils, right? And we got some nice little teeth. It will never not amaze me that this thing is 15 to 60 million years old and it still has serrations on it. I just look at the colors on this thing. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. Unfortunately, it doesn't have its root. I think this is a great white. It's a historic great white, an ancient great white, and they very often do not have their root when you find them. This is how they come when you find great whites for whatever reason. But look at those serrations. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. It's amazing to me that these things are just literally all over here, and these are, I mean, you've seen other videos. These are nothing compared to what you can find here, but it's just, it's so cool. So anyway, the purpose of the video was to say, people think that because they find the teeth on the edge of a creek bank or they find them on the beach, because you can find teeth all over the beach from Florida all the way up to New Jersey. We're in South Carolina, obviously, about halfway, right? But you can find them right on the beach, and people think that they're washing in from the shore. They're washing in from the ocean, and that's how they're finding them on the beach and in the creeks. And that's not the case. They're actually eroding out. So the reason they're finding them on the beach is because they're there in whatever layer they were in, and the beach is lapping in and out, and it's eroding them out of that layer. And it just so happens that the beach is at this point in historical time, that the beach is at the level up and down to erode that layer, and that's where you're finding those teeth coming out of that layer. They're not washing up from the depths. They are eroding out from where they had been laying for the last 15 to 60 million years. So that's how we're able to find them in creeks and on the beach and that kind of stuff. I just think that's pretty cool. Just a little bit of tidbit of knowledge, you know, in case you're watching this and you're looking to hope to get into doing this kind of stuff. Maybe you'll have a little bit better understanding of exactly how it works, and be able to I don't know, find places easier, find places better. It's almost a full moon tonight, and it's a king tide. This moon cycle is a king tide. So the tide is literally in this area. In this area, the tide is already crazy. On a king tide in this area, the tide is about a 9-foot tide swing. 9 foot. So it's already coming in. It's already come in about probably 1.5 feet now, and it's going to come up another 7.5 feet. So it's going to be well over my head where I'm standing here right now. This moon cycle, this is the king tide. Our average tide here, our average tide swing here is about 6 feet ish. So the crazy king tide is quite a bit higher, 3 feet almost higher probably on average for the king tide. So if you're a boater, which I have been stuck out on a sandbar that I didn't know I was sitting over, and I was throwing my cast net trying to catch bait, and I was doing it too long, and by the time, well, I was throwing the cast net and I was bringing it in, and I felt the boat thump, and I was like, oh no. And the boat had thumped on the bottom, and by the time I looked over the side of the boat, I realized I was in about 10 inches of water, and it was too late at that point. So I was stuck there for about 4.5 hours. Anyway, you got to be careful if you're planning to be a boater, or even if you're just coming down here to, you know, hunt teeth. If you walk all the way down there and you're at a little bit higher elevation, the tide comes in, you're going to be swimming back, because you can walk all the way out to that point from here and probably even around it. The point is right above where my finger is here. At low tide, you can walk the bank all the way over to that point, but then the water comes up and covers up that point before it covers up here. So you could get stuck out there, which you just walk back on the land. But anyway, that's not the point of the video. That's really cool. And I mean, that's cool. It's just, I love it. I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy the videos that I put together for you guys, because I enjoy doing it. Give me a like and a thumbs up, or don't. It's up to you. All right, get off the couch.